Jamestown doesn't announce itself. You don't enter it. You arrive, and it's already in happening. The sea comes first. Canoes grind against the shore. Salt, smoke, and stories fill the air. A place where salt lives in the air, history clings to every wall, and the Atlantic never stops whispering the stories of those who came before us. This is not just a neighborhood. This is Ga Mashie, not a museum of history, but a place where history breathes, the soul of Accra, weathered, wounded, resilient, and still standing. A town with walls that have seen empires arrive and retreat, streets that shaped boxers and survivors, an ocean that has taken, returned, and taught endurance. Jamestown is not stuck in the past. It moves, it wrestles with time, it remembers who it was, while daring to imagine what it can still become. This is a journey through its landmarks, its people, and a future waiting to be rebuilt, not away from the sea, but with it. Jamestown is a paradox carved in stone and sweat. Colonial forts stand beside fishing nets. Rusting zinc roofs stretch endlessly toward the horizon, and every corner carries memory. Rising above it all is the Jamestown Lighthouse, its light-pierced nights thick with fog, storms, and uncertainty, reminding those at sea that land and life awaited beyond the waves. From this height, every rooftop tells a story. Every alley, every courtyard, every market is visible. Tiny movements that collectively pulse like a heart. You see the fishermen at work, canoes stretching along the shore like painted brushstrokes. You see the streets where boxers train and children play, where commerce hums and history lingers. The lighthouse is also a meeting point of daily rhythms and human stories. Fishermen reference it as they navigate the morning tides. Children climb nearby walls for a glimpse of the ocean, imagining futures beyond their zinc roofs. Market queens negotiate in its shadow, their voices echoing off its walls, connecting the commerce of the harbour to centuries of tradition. Even the boxers training in nearby courtyards feel its presence, a silent observer of discipline, perseverance, and ambition. It is a view that compresses centuries into a single glance, reminding anyone who climbs that Jamestown is not frozen in time. It is enduring, moving, and full of stories waiting to be discovered. Just a short walk away stands Fort James. Built in 1673, it began as a trading post for gold and ivory. But history turned its walls into holding cells for enslaved Africans, men, women, and children awaiting the Middle Passage. The stones absorbed the fear, despair, and resilience of countless lives. Every doorway, every barred window, every narrow corridor was part of a system that separated families, sold human beings as commodities, and fueled empires far from the coast of West Africa. Later, it became a prison. One that once held Dr. Kwame Nkrumah himself.
Your beloved country is free forever. And now there is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing the whole of earth.
The same walls that confined those seeking freedom now confined the leader who would fight for it. Time layered its legacy, commerce, suffering, resistance, into the very mortar. You can almost hear whispers of conversations long silenced, footsteps echoing in the hallways, the weight of history pressing against the stone. Today, Fort James stands silent, not forgotten but unfinished. Its walls endure, worn by wind, rain, and decades of neglect. Graffiti, cracks, and moss mark both decay and life, reminders that the past continues to coexist with the present. A monument still waiting to be fully restored, fully honored. Not simply as a tourist attraction or museum, but as a living testament to the lives that passed through its gates, to the suffering endured, and the resilience that emerged. It is a place that demands reflection, that asks visitors to pause, to imagine, and to bear witness. Standing there, you feel the weight of history and the responsibility of memory. At the foot of the lighthouse, the Atlantic meets human determination. This is the fishing harbour, the economic heartbeat of Jamestown. Before the city fully wakes, the harbour is alive. Men push wooden canoes into the water, their muscles straining against the tide. Nets are untangled, checked for holes, repaired with care. Hand-carved wooden canoes line the shore, painted in bold colours, marked with Ga symbols and proverbs. Each canoe is more than transport, it's identity, inheritance, survival. These are not souvenirs for tourists or decoration for postcards. They are vessels that carry families, history, and the day's hard-earned catch. Every scrape of paint, every carved emblem tells a story of lineage and pride. Some have weathered decades of sun, salt, and surf, yet they remain steadfast, ready to face the Atlantic again and again. Here, the market queens rule. They move with authority, their voices commanding attention over the roar of waves and shouts of fishermen. They negotiate, organize, and control the flow of fish that feeds thousands across Accra. Their expertise is precise, learned over years of observation and practice. This shoreline is not chaos, it is choreography. Every hand movement, every footstep, every call to the next canoe is a part of a carefully orchestrated dance. The ebb and flow of people mirrors the tides themselves, as if the Atlantic has dictated the rhythm for centuries. It is both art and necessity, survival and ceremony, economy and identity, an enduring testament to the resilience of Gamashi. From here, the water is more than water. It is history. It is life. It is the pulse of a community that refuses to be sidelined. A pulse that carries the stories of those who came before and those still to come. Jamestown doesn't just produce fishermen. It produces fighters. They say here, you learn to fight before you learn to walk. In dusty courtyards and makeshift gyms, gloves slam into heavy bags. Sweat hits the ground, and discipline is forged. This is where legends like Azumah Nelson were born, where hardship became strength, where pain became purpose, and when the gloves come off, the streets transform again. Jamestown should not be surviving, it should be thriving. Around the world, historic coastal districts like Stonetown in Zanzibar and Cape Town's V&A waterfront have been transformed without erasing their soul. They've preserved their heritage while creating spaces where people live, work, and connect. They've turned harbours into stages for commerce, tourism, and culture, while maintaining the essence that made them unique in the first place. Jamestown can be next. Imagine a modern sea defence system, protecting the coast from erosion, integrated with a wooden boardwalk inspired by Havana's Malecon. A boardwalk that stretches along the shoreline, alive with markets, night cafes, music, and performances. Local artisans could sell their work directly to visitors. Street musicians and performers could animate the nights, and the sea itself would become a backdrop for culture, life, and community pride. Instead of watching the waves encroach on homes and livelihoods, residents would engage with the coast as a resource, a protected, celebrated part of their daily lives. A Jamestown where the harbour is bustling, the streets are alive, the shoreline is protected, and culture thrives, not just surviving, but shining. From the top of the Jamestown Lighthouse, the story unfolds. Below, the fishing harbour pulses with life. Canoes lined like brushstrokes. Market queens orchestrating the rhythm of the sea, and fishermen meeting the dawn with strength and precision. Fort James stands nearby, its walls heavy with history. Echoes of struggle, resilience, and freedom carved into every stone. It reminds us that Jamestown's past is not just memory, it is foundation. And yet, the future is waiting. Imagine a shoreline protected from erosion, a boardwalk alive with music, markets, and life. Fort James restored, honouring history while welcoming new stories. Waste transformed into opportunity, streets safer and cleaner, the harbour thriving as both livelihood and cultural heartbeat. Here in Jamestown, the past guides us, the present moves us, and the future calls us to imagine more. This is a community that doesn't just survive, it shines, steadfast as the lighthouse, enduring as the ocean, and alive with possibility.